we are on to another week of training with Christo. A little bit for me. I've been a little bit MIA actually. I've had life to deal with. Kids' birthdays, camps, all that sort of stuff. So my running's gone a little bit out of the window, but we've always got Chris here to do the exciting things. So tell us your week of training that you have done. Starting with, do you start on a Sunday or a Monday?
Probably Sunday. So Sunday is long run day. Mm-hmm. So last Sunday was, I think I did 16 Ks.
All right, Chris has got his long run. What do you got, an hour and 10 minutes?
Yep.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, that's all right. Almost halfway.
That's good. Day for it. Nice quiet part of our area. I did 7Ks this morning. I run 7Ks. Felt alright, and then thought I'd chaperone Chris on his long run. Got his nutrition and his drinks. And it gets me out on the bike because I haven't been out on the bike for a while. Didn't know if I remembered how to clip in.
About 4:30, 4:40 pace, mm-hmm. which was probably one of my better, kept my heart rate under control. Yeah, that's going really good. Mm-hmm. I can say that I was really patient with that to come along, and it's come along now. So mm-hmm. that's where I start the week. Then Monday is a run and bike. I had a 3,000 metre swim, followed by a hills session, which was on the trainer.
So bike session.
Bike session, yeah. So I do 90% of my bike training on the trainer.
And why is that?
So I don't get hit by a car again, I guess. And I believe it's quite efficient. So when you're time poor, you can just, you got an hour and a half, you can get an hour and a half session done, whereas you don't have to faff about getting all your kit ready and lights charged and all those kind of things.
I will add something to that too, though. A lot of people, in my experience in triathlon over the years, really only do a lot of their riding indoors, and it's brought them undone come race day, whether it's a 70.3 or full or whatever the case may be, because they've not gone outside and gotten enough experience on the road in the elements, so wind, rain, or whatever it may be. Bike handling skills, yeah, for sure. So Chris is definitely not one of those persons. He definitely has enough bike handling skills and has ridden more than enough on the road, in races, etc. So he can kind of get away with riding a little bit more on the indoor trainer. So I just want to make that known, that training on the trainer permanently is probably not the best.
I still do like my one long ride a week.
On a Saturday?
On a Saturday, generally out on the bike, on the TT bike now. So just getting that feel, it is a bit different out on the road. So, I would say I see some, and I'll put in inverted commas, triathletes that do need more bike skills. Mm-hmm. And just, there is no replacement for getting out there. And probably bunch skills will accelerate that, I think. But being in the right bunch, right? You don't want to jump into an A-grade bunch when you're not that skilled, and vice versa. Yeah. So.
All right, so that's Tuesday. Moving on.
Yeah, that was Monday. Sorry, Tuesday was just a 2-hour aerobic ride.
So a single session, not a double session.
Yeah, Tuesday was, I'd say, an easier day.
Yep.
Really starting to see my power numbers on the bike come back after our time off in Europe, mm-hmm. and that had me worried. Starting 3 sports since we got back and looking at my power numbers going, is this what it's going to be like when I'm running and swimming? But they're starting to come back. They're not where they were, but I'm pretty happy with where they're at.
Did you want to go into the numbers? Or
just my endurance ride, 2 hours, 250 odd watts, and 137 heart rate. So
I wish I could ride for 250 watts for 2 hours at 130 heart rate.
Oh, sorry, 130 heart rate for that one.
Yeah, you did say that, did you?
I had said 137, but that was the next ride. Sorry.
Okay, so moving on to Wednesday, is a double session.
Yeah, so that was a swim and a run. So I think that was my 4x800s.
Mm-hmm. You swim?
Oh no, that was 4x400s. That was actually a really tough session. It was like 4x400s with 100 at takeout speed or sort of max, and then 300 pretty hard. I originally read it as I was doing that twice, so I was a bit freaked out by doing that, because that's 3,200 meters. That was pretty intense, but it was the 4 of those. Can
I just say, during winter here in Australia, our outdoor pools are closed. We've just come out of winter. We've just headed into spring, and our outdoor pools are now just starting to open up. So Chris has been doing his swim training in a 25-meter indoor pool with the rest of the whole of our area swimming at the same time. Kids, swimming squads and all that. So swimming in a 25-meter pool sucks. So the outdoor pool's open, so you'll give that a crack this week, hopefully.
Today, I think. So
good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing I will say, as someone that doesn't tumble turn, and I previously tumble turned, but I just don't find it necessary because I'm not training to swim in a pool.
I never tumble turn.
I find that my fast efforts are no faster with the exactly 25-meter pool, whereas my slow efforts, because you get that micro rest, I think it is, maybe 1 second or 2 seconds per 100 for me, but faster. But I don't think that I don't think that I'm faster on my fast efforts. I actually think I'm slower because the time it takes me to turn, whereas, and that I have proven that on the 50-meter pool. So, yeah.
Right. What was your other training session? You had a swim?
Yeah, I had a swim and a run that day. So I think that was my fartlek day, where I did 20 minutes. It was sort of tempo, 3 minutes recovery, and then 15 minutes tempo but progressive 5-minute tempo session. So I was a little bit tender on that session, just with this increased run volume. It's increased run volume for me, so I was a little bit tender, so those paces weren't what I wanted.
Where were you tender?
Just in my hips and the top of my quads there is just... And I've had a bit of ankle soreness, but I think that this is all stemmed still from my accident.
So Chris is still in physiotherapy since his getting hit by a car last year. So he still sees a physio every week, sometimes twice a week. And so that seems to be...
It's helping, but it's a long process. I mean, we had a MRI the other day and there's still a fracture in my tibial plateau. So... yeah, it's just a process and balancing the adaption of running versus the injury prevention side. So
he's still struggling a little bit, I think. I can say struggling with one, still working through your injuries, and 2, you're getting a little bit frustrated that you're not getting exactly the paces that you're wanting. You're so close, but just... And
that it's not super linear. Like I found with cycling, I progressed at a nice slope, whereas I'd take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Let us know, does it happen to you guys? Like, do you guys have the same thing when it comes to running or cycling, or sort of maybe one of your weaker disciplines maybe? I think I found that with running. I had a nice, easy slope all the way up when it came to running, and I progressed very nicely and quickly, but not too fast, but I didn't break bones and body pieces like you have. So,
Yeah, I don't know whether it is because of that or like sometimes I go for a run and I do my endurance run on a 4:30 and then I can do my tempo on a 4:20 like the same week. It doesn't make sense. And then another run I'll be doing 4 minutes. So I think it just is because of the injury and stiffness and then, getting through those.
All right, what was your next session?
So next day I had a ride and a run.
Another double day. God, I don't miss double session days.
Yeah, so that was actually, it was meant to be a swim and a run day, but I called the run.
Oh, yes, because of the tenderness.
Yeah, so I was meant to be a backup the next day, and I literally put all my shoes on, ran out the door, and said no. So
which you've got to do, listen to your body.
Probably the first time I reckon I've like...
Our dog.
There's a leaf outside. So it's probably one of the first sessions I've actually called. So instead of doing my hour endurance run, I did 2 hours on the bike. And then I had, then that was the 4x800 that I did that day.
Dictator, stop.
Yep.
All right, and what was your...
And then Friday, finished it off with a fartlek run.
And how did that one feel better?
That one was better.
Yep.
I think that session was my probably best for the week. Actually hit some all-time bests, even though I didn't feel like doing it. Actually, I was looking forward to it. I just didn't feel like I was at my best. But once I got out the door, I sort of got things going. It was 3 by a mile repeats. Then, so I do a mile, 30 seconds easy, and then another 60 seconds as fast as I could. So I was sort of averaging around the 5:30 to 5:40 per mile for those repeats, and then for that 60 seconds around 3:15 per kilometre for that 60 seconds, and then 3 minutes recovery on those. But 2 of them I pushed so that I knew I didn't have to turn and that after those. Or they lined up with segments, I don't know. Either other.
And what was next?
So that day I also did 3 hours on the bike. So
you did a run in the morning and then you did a ride.
A ride in the afternoon. Yep. Yeah, so it was a double day. And then on Saturday had my normal TT ride, but I decided to do that in the trainer. Because we had things to do, and it was just a busy day. I did do it in my TT bars on the trainer, but it was on the trainer. And I did have a swim scheduled, but we were just tight on time, so I was going to do it.
Can I just jump in and just say we have 4 children. We have Chris's daughter every second weekend, so that was the weekend that we had his daughter, and it was Father's Day, so we were just trying to cram in a whole bunch of things as well. So not everyone can squeeze in sessions, much to your, displease, I guess. But, you still worked around it and...
Well, we were going to do it the next day, but then the next day sort of threw a spanner in the works. I ended up in...
Emergency. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, not exactly.
Not a bike accident.
No.
Thanks for those who messaged. I had put it on my story and people are like, please tell me he hasn't been hit by a car.
No, not this time.
No.
So Still finding out a little bit more, but it looks like there was something to do with my pancreas or stomach, and it was just an excruciating pain. So I spent the first 4 hours of Father's Day in emergency on some antibiotics and antibiotics, medication, and some painkillers, and then was discharged. Contemplated going for a swim.
After he was like on all fours in pain, but anyway, that's fine. It was Father's Day, so he called it.
I didn't. So yeah, then I thought, okay, I'll start the next week strong, and yeah, I don't know whether we call it there or do we...
Yeah, we'll call it there. And so this was a good example week. Chris very rarely misses sessions. Like, he even trained still when he didn't really... I know you were training for Ironman when you had COVID?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. So even when he had COVID, he was still on the trainer.
I took one day off.
So Chris doesn't like taking any days off or missing any sessions. He's very dedicated. And yeah, so I just want to emphasize on that. So for him to miss that session or those sessions on the weekend was a pretty big call. So I just want to preference that. Life gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. And listen to your body. And sometimes, like, if I couldn't do that run the other day, you know, mentally doing those 2 hours on the bike, I suppose there's the endurance adaption. I'm not doing nothing. And I think a lot of people could get something from that is something is better than nothing. If you have 30 minutes, not an hour, do the 30 minutes because you will benefit from 30 minutes. The research says something is better than nothing. So do something, you know, if you can.
I haven't been doing anything.
All right, so...
I haven't been doing anything.
Yes.
And the weather is so nice here at the moment, but we've just had a very hectic week. Very, very hectic. So I've only got another day. One of our childs goes to...
it's her birthday today.
It's her birthday today, so I've been doing that. I'll do make cakes and all that sort of stuff. I may run out of time, but we'll see. But I managed to squeeze in a ride. No running, but I went for a ride, which was spontaneous, and I absolutely loved it. What a day. Whew. Spring is so close. Winter's almost gone. Bring on the magpies. I actually had a run today, but the body's feeling a bit old and sore. So I'm like, let's go for an easy ride. And I'm glad I did. I don't have to worry about pace, time, power, just pedaling. I didn't have to worry about pace or power. I think I already put that on my stories, you guys seen. Yeah, so that was nice, but I'm now down a week. But the lucky thing for me, even though I'm not super fit, if I was to go run this Queenstown half marathon tomorrow, I'd be able to run the 21Ks straight off the bat. Like, my body, even, you know, I'm not fit anymore and I'm slightly overweight than what I usually am, I can go run it. So I do have that in the back of my mind, but I don't want to fall into the trap where I have fallen going, oh yeah, I can do it. I've got time. Oh yeah, no, I'll miss that. Oh no, I can't do that. Or I've got a really big head battle that I go through, but I will not fall back into that trap. Well, I haven't run. I can't do it. But I don't want to be doing this half marathon like busting myself. So I need to get some of my fitness back, which I am. Yeah, I mentioned it before. I'm up to 10Ks running. So that'll progress this week, hopefully.
At endurance pace?
No, we don't talk about Kelly's paces or heart rates because mine are just through the roof and irrelevant. I run for fun. I run just to finish or enjoy. I don't need to run to a specific time. I've been there, done that.
I reckon sub 2 hours.
It's definitely not going to be a sub 2 hour half marathon. Absolutely not. Those days are, well, I'm not going to say well and truly behind me, but they're not going to come anytime soon. I need to fix a few things within myself first before I try and push out a sub 2 hour. I think my PB, I did the Melbourne half marathon. I think my PB was 151 maybe.
2 hours.
151 is my PB for a half marathon. I ran my fastest 10Ks down there too. Melbourne Marathon was so much fun. I loved it. That was really good.
Can you beat me doing the marathon?
No, absolutely not.
No, I mean, if you're doing
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll go more into my times and stuff when I really get my shit together and sort myself out. But yeah, so I think we'll end that one here. This is our second video. We're not going to try and talk too much, although we already have spoken a lot. But
yeah, but we can crop it up.
Yeah, we can play with it and stuff. So I hope you guys like. Don't forget to, do that whole thing, like, subscribe, or, just watch. It's up to you guys. We'll try and keep the content coming. We're hoping for once a week. Like I said, life's been hectic, but hopefully we can pump out a little bit more. We've definitely got a lot of more subjects we really want to touch base on.
And some races coming up, so maybe a TT in the next week or two. And
Chris has got Western Sydney. Yeah, Western Sydney 7.3. We actually just live 20 minutes away from the course, so that's really cool. So we've got a few things coming up. There's a couple of things I just wanted to mention that we will cover over, in a little while, I guess. Some nutrition things. We don't want to bore everyone with us being vegetarians because it's not everyone's cup of tea, but there's a few things I want to touch base on there, especially, how that amazing question everyone gets is, how do you get your protein? All those sort of things we want to talk about. And hopefully you guys like, and you'll see you next time.